This is an example of a controlled burn out here in Tipton, Iowa. Jim, Tiffany, I got my Marvel shirt on today. This really is what it is all about. I wonder just how fast our phones are keeping up with all the construction. Kids from Rock Island County make up a quarter of the residents here at Mary Davis Home in Galesburg. My wife, though, she won't let me buy them until they at least get 50% off. It's something you'd expect to find in the Smithsonian, but it's right here in Galena. You could fill a Monopoly board with all the properties he collected here. And they're crossing the Mississippi River today and on to Council Bluffs, Iowa. What's on the Boy Scouts uniform is also changing, but not what it represents. Here on the Iowa side of the Quad Cities, it's a busy time for area fire departments. Farmers are burning off their fields to get nutrients back in the soil and grow new crops. But in these dry conditions, all it takes is a gust of wind to get that fire going and out of control. This is an example of a controlled burn out here in Tipton, Iowa. The concern is when the winds shift, bringing the flames toward houses. That is when the fire department gets called in. When the ash jumps from spot to spot, it becomes too much for a farmer to handle. In the field, Cruz and Durant bring out two brush trucks, one with a 300-gallon water tank, another with 250 gallons. They also use a backpack leaf blower to get down to the fire and blow it out like you would leaves off a sidewalk. The fire chief here says the risk will lower once things green up. In Tipton, James Sears, Local 4 News.
I think it's really scary, especially for me, because I've realized that school shootings usually happen in the communities you don't expect them to. You know, Parkland was very much so like North Scott, where it was a close-knit community. Alexis
Raleigh and Ivy Jensen are students at North Scott High School. They say the active shooter drills are scary, but necessary. Local 4 News got a look at what happens during an active shooter drill earlier this year. North Scott brought in the Alice training program 7 years ago, working up to live drills like this one quarterly. Dean Aaron Schwartz says it's important to be as realistic as possible so students can be prepared.
The big question is when gunshots go off, is a lot of people are, well, what was that sound? Is it a door slamming? Is it fireworks going off? And so we want our kids to know exactly what it's going to sound like.
That conditioned response to keep kids calm in a stressful situation. Principal Shane Kanucky says he takes every precaution to keep students safe. North Scott High School has a school resource officer, and once the school day starts, the exterior doors are locked, as are the classroom doors.
What we've found in the shootings that have occurred in other school districts or colleges is they test the door first and then they move on. So if we have that initial door locked, then hopefully that saves lives, if it would ever happen here, which of course we pray it doesn't.
Even while we may think it's Eldridge, Iowa, it's a safe school, safe city, again, we know that other people have felt that way. And so we just want to make sure that we don't get in that aftermath by taking things too lightly.
Go to the right.
It can't mean that. There's a lake there.
I think it knows where it is going.
This is the
lake.
Machine knows.
This is the lake.
Stop yelling at me.
No, it's
Stop
not
yelling.
there.
There's no road here.
That is one extreme example of a GPS fail. Fortunately, we're not seeing that happen in the Quad Cities. But the map is being rewritten on both sides of the river because of two big construction projects, the new I-74 bridge and John Deere Road. We compared Google Maps to Apple's iPhone. So I want to get to that car wash across John Deere Road. In the old days, I'd be able to get in the left lane and make a left-hand turn. But now with the construction, I need to make a right and go in a big circle. This flyover bridge was built to get people across John Deere Road. Now in some of the old maps, it doesn't even show up. With Apple and Google Maps, what we saw on the phone matched the roads. And over in Bettendorf, so I need to get to City Hall, so I just keep going straight on State Street, according to my phone, even though it looks like the road veers left. But it's the end of the road. Apple failed the test, while Google was spot on.
Proceed to the roof.
It can be confusing for people who aren't familiar with the area.
The maps are not quite clear, so yeah, we were just kind of looking for a place to grab a drink, and darned if we didn't hit a dead end down here.
My GPS was taking me past that, and it had a dead end right there, and I thought it went left, I thought it went right, but it was just a circle, so did a U-turn. I was almost about to take that ramp to the interstate.
I contacted both companies to see how they keep their maps up to date. Google told me it relies on locals in the area, regular people like you and me who use the map, as well as merchants, and gives them points to unlock rewards for submitting edits and other information. So you won't be making this mistake again. You'll turn the iPhone off.
Try to, yeah. Yeah, go figure it out from, you know, get like an atlas or something like that, you know.
In Bettendorf, James Sears, Local 4 News. Jim, Tiffany, I got my Marvel shirt on today. This really is what it is all about. Avengers Infinity War. It's the only movie to be opening in wide release across the country. And here in the Quad Cities at Regal Cinemas in Moline, I did speak with fans who showed up. They've been showing up all day to see this movie. But first, though, I should add, there are no spoilers in this report.
So this is it. It's all been leading to this.
The wait is finally over.
Awesome. Awesome. One of the best movies I've ever seen.
After 10 years, 18 consecutive #1 movies, and more than $15 billion in worldwide ticket sales, Avengers Infinity War is set to crush the competition and rewrite the record book. Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, and many, many more team up to stop the villain Thanos from obtaining 6 mystical Infinity Stones.
Who the hell are you guys?
Why did you have to come out and see Infinity War?
Just had to. I wanted to be one of the first so nobody could spoil it.
These movies for the last 10 years have been some of the most important part of my life. This is my childhood growing up. I took the day off of work today to come here and see us.
Corey Kohler of Davenport bought his tickets 2 months ago. Anticipation has been building for a long time.
It's been killer. Killer. The only thing, can't wait for the next one.
But this does put a smile on my face.
And it more than meets expectations.
At least. Actually more. Beyond hype. It was really good.
So many times I wanted to just stand up in the theater and yell and clap and scream, but then I would have been one of those little kids that I was trying to avoid at the movie theater today. Greatest freaking movie ever made, man.
Exciting times we live in. Now, this could be the biggest superhero movie ever, topping the original Avengers. This movie estimated to bring in $225 million. Now, guys, I've seen the movie, and everyone who has seen the movie is feeling what I am feeling right now, but I won't say any more because Thanos demands your silence, so I'll send it back to you. In Moline, James Sears, Local 4 News. On a walk through South Park Mall, I counted 16 stores that sat empty. Moline Planning and Development Director Ray Forsyth told me in an email that many of the vacancies here in the mall have been because of corporate downsizing or closures similar to Yonkers. But that's, quote, not necessarily a reflection of the Moline climate, but rather the industry change in shopping. You may remember back in 2014, millions of dollars was invested in a major downsizing renovation, demolishing 250,000 square feet, including the old Sears store and food court. 13 stores relocated. Dick's opened its doors at the mall a year later. South Park's property manager at the time spoke about the fresh new look of the 40-year-old mall.
We're always looking to increase our sales per square foot, and I think with the fresh new look, that will definitely happen as the shopper comes back.
4 years later, I contacted South Park's current property manager multiple times for comment to see if all the expensive changes are paying off. I've gotten no response. Today, I did hear from shoppers who admit they don't shop at the mall as much as they used to.
I've been in and out of here a lot more in the past 3 months, but it has surprised me. I mean, they've lost a ton of stores just in the past 3 months.
So the malls for yourself is pretty much
non-existent, yes. I can find anything else I need, on Amazon or online. I mean, that's the way to go. 2 days, it's at your door. Don't have to step foot out of my car.
So what can be done to bring shoppers to the mall? Those I spoke with today say one way, bring in things we don't have here in the Quad Cities that the big cities offer. But it remains to be seen whether South Park has learned anything in 4 years or if history will end up repeating itself. In the studio, James Sears, Local 4 News. After 108 years, the word boy will be taken out of Scouts in name only. Beginning in February of 2019, programs for older Scouts will be called Scouts BSA. That's for teens aged 11 to 17.
Well, I've got everybody I've talked to has got a different opinion on it. For the most part, they're very supportive and think it's past due that the girls are allowed to join Boy Scouts.
Daryl Impin is Scoutmaster for Troop 258 in Rock Island. He says the Scouts will be functioning as 2 separate units, 1 boys and 1 girls, with the same sponsoring organization, but different Scoutmasters. Impin says feelings range from excitement to anxiousness.
But we've always had a venturing program in the Boy Scout side, which is co-ed, and the girls starting at, I think, 14 years old can join. So it's not like girls in scouting is brand new to the Boy Scouts of America. It's been in venturing for decades. Now we're just moving over to the Boy Scout side.
What's on the Boy Scouts uniform is also changing, but not what it represents. Duty, honor, country. The expansion will allow girls to earn merit badges and attain the highest Eagle Scout honor, but there will be no change in requirements.
She will still need to be able to provide service to others, go camping, earn some of the same merit badges to be able to strengthen her ability to be a very caring and productive adult.
The Cub Scouts for ages 7 to 10 is already a gender-neutral name. It won't be changed. Girls can join that starting in August.
The sales are getting a little bit better.
I got a $119 basketball hoop for $20.
There's been a steady stream of people coming into the Toys R Us in Moline. Employees say as the toy company moves through the liquidation process, you can expect to see the markdowns continue to get bigger. Still, the shelves inside are full today.
A couple weeks ago, it was only like 10% off, so the prices were still kind of high, but everything's at least 30 to 50% off now.
Employees tell me they'll keep getting new toys and merchandise until the last day of June. But the selection is random. They don't know what they'll get until the truck comes.
My son's birthday's coming, and everything he's asked for is Spider-Man, and really there's not a selection anywhere else.
Brian and Stephanie Lloyd grew up coming to Toys R Us and are taking advantage of these final sales. But it's bittersweet. They say they're sad to see the toy chain go away.
Our kids are going to miss this. Every time they see one, they want to stop. Regardless of whether we need to or they need another toy or not, we usually let them walk through.
And they will be back as the prices drop even more. I've been eyeing the Legos. They're 15% off right now. My wife, though, she won't let me buy them until they at least get 50% off. 15%, she says, nothing to sneeze at. So I'll be watching over the next 7 weeks as Toys R Us here officially goes out of business for good, watching those deals. In Moline, James Sears, Local 4 News. The Mary Davis home in Knox County has taken in juvenile delinquents from Rock Island County for more than 30 years in its 39-bed facility.
All the kids need here is they need some type of stability.
Mary Davis Home Superintendent Wendy Steck says the kids here are accused of crimes like stealing cars, theft, battery, and mob action.
And they need to know that they're getting fed 3 square meals a day, and they have a multitude of people to talk to and listen to them. So, I mean, we get to have a personal relationship with them. And then, unfortunately, they go back to the same things. They go back to the same house. They go back to the same people that they get in trouble with. And it starts all over again.
Kids from Rock Island County make up a quarter of the residents here at Mary Davis Home in Galesburg. That's anywhere from 8 to 10 kids a week.
We've always sent them to Knox County, Mary Davis.
Director of Court Services Trent Vandersnick has seen an increase and severity of juvenile crime from just 2 years ago.
Any gun charge, if they get caught with a gun or something, they're probably going to be going to Mary Davis. The car thefts, that's a big one, especially if there's a chase afterwards where they're putting the public at risk.
Still, there is no plan to build a juvenile detention center in Rock Island County. Cost is a major prohibitor.
It'd be staffed like a jail. You'd have to staff it 24/7, along with meals and schooling.
Steck says the relationship between the counties right now is a good one.
We do rely on Rock Island County. They, like I said, they are one of our biggest clients. I'm not sure that we could probably stay afloat, if so.
In Galesburg, James Sears, Local 4 News. I'm live here in Bettendorf. James Sears, Local 4 News. Jim and Tiffany, back to you.